Rock Parks and Recreation Commission. We will start by calling the roll, and Angela, if I could ask for your assistance with that, please.
Okay, Commissioner Bersink, Commissioner Bowie,
Here.
Commissioner Eldridge, Commissioner Ellis,
Here.
Commissioner Fletcher,
Here.
Commissioner Jennings,
Here.
Commissioner Martinez,
Here.
Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Oh, yeah, Dustin Smith, Commissioner Linda Smith. I believe that's it. Director Cappy.
Here.
And Director Wright.
All right, very good. Thanks, Angela. So by my count, we have 5, 6, 7 present and 2 not present, correct? So if that is the case, then we do have a quorum, so we will be able to proceed with official business. All right, very good. Again, thanks everybody for being here. You did receive a copy of the previous month's meeting minutes, the May meeting minutes. Were there any comments, questions, edits to those meeting minutes that we needed to address here today, please? No comments, questions, or edits, then the May meeting minutes will stand as approved. Very good. All right, moving on to following our agenda here, the citizen communication. Any citizen communication today? Director Couch, were you expecting any citizen communication today? No? Okay. All right, very good. Then quickly moving along into the next agenda item, staff reports. Let's move to that. So Director Couch, I'll turn to you for that, please. I think I'm talking into the microphone.
Okay, I'll start with Shawanda, if you would start with your staff report this morning, please, or this afternoon now.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so first I'll start off by talking about the summer playground program. It's up and going. We started on yesterday, the 7th, and we have 205 children at Dunbar Community Center, 40 at East Little Rock Community Center. Stevens Community Center has 120. Watson Elementary has about 28. J.A. Fair is the teen camp, and they have about 26. And Romine has about 35. And West Central Community Center, they have 100 children at that location. So we're gearing up for the summer, preparing we have activities and programs planned for the children at all of those locations. So we look forward to having a great summer for our summer playground programs and camps. The golf resume.
Excuse me, before we move on, you said there was 40 at East Little Rock?
40 at East Little Rock, yes, ma'am.
And I do have a correction about West Central. It's not a summer playground, it's a summer STEAM program. It's funded by an ESSER grant, which is an out-of-school time grant. It's not funded by the city.
Thank you. Next up is golf. We had the Parks Commission tournament on May the 27th at the Resman Golf Course, and we had a great day there. And I'll wait and let Mr. Boyd, are you going to talk about that?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Okay. All right. I'll let you talk about that. We had a great tennis tournament. We had 2 great tennis tournaments at the Resman Tennis Facility. We had the Wild Card, and we had the Little Rock Pro Tennis Tournament. And both of those tournaments were great. We had a large turnout. A lot of people went over and got a chance to partake in the activities they had going on. They had vendors, and they had different things that they were selling, as well as great food and great tennis. So that was a success. We have our therapeutic recreation division. The summer camp has opened at both of the locations. One location is at the Ottenheimer Community Center, and the other is at the War Memorial Pro Shop. We have converted that location into a summer camp for this summer. So they'll be there up until July the 21st. Jim Daly Fitness Center. They had a Dollar Day pool party, and it was on, I think it was 28th. Yes, on May 28th. And they had over 80 people to show up for that pool party, and they gave away door prizes, and the grand prize was a $40 gift card from Macy's that they gave away to anyone, whoever number they called. So they had refreshments, and the people seemed to have a good time. They had a DJ there, and they interacted with the DJ while they were in the pool. So it was a good day. And they have coming up on the 23rd of June, the world's largest swim lesson on the 23rd. And so if you're not busy, I would suggest you go by there and take a look at that, or get in on the swim lessons so that we can count you in the world's largest swimming lessons. They also have fitness in the park. I mentioned that at the last meeting, but the date has changed to June the 28th. And also on that same day, they'll have a movie night. So if you're not busy, after you get done working out in the park, then go over and enjoy a good movie and refreshments at the pool at Jim Daly. The senior programs is up and going as well, and they're busy doing their activities and programs, as well as interacting with the children at those locations. So they're doing their best to share those spaces so that they can do their regular activities, as well as let the kids do what they do in those spaces as well. So that's the update I have for recreation. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Yes, I do. What about the sports?
Oh, sports, yes. Sports is going on. Baseball was supposed to have started on the 6th, but due to the rain we've had this past couple of days, we haven't had our baseball going. So as soon as it can stop raining, and we'll get that going as well. But baseball is on its way.
So how many teams do we have?
We have about 35 to 40 teams.
What are the ages?
We have the 3 and 4 year olds. We have the 5 and 6, 7 and 8. We don't have any 12U.
And the games are being played where?
At West Central. And we have track coming up. And also soccer is coming up. And then we have basketball camp. Clinics. We have a basketball clinic going on at Dunbar Community Center on Saturdays. Clinic. On Saturday, and on Sunday we have a volleyball clinic. So right now the numbers for the basketball clinic are low. We only had about 2 to 5 kids to show up this past Saturday because that was the first time that they met. And for the volleyball on Sunday, we had about 20 to 30 kids signed up for the volleyball clinic. And so that's what we have going on as far as sports. Any more questions?
Okay, thank you for that report.
Thank you.
I'll cover operations real quick, and then I'll let JP cover a few updates on maintenance and any questions. So for operations, this would be any construction projects that are ongoing. And so a lot of these I've reported on in the past, so I'm not going to get into detail, but I'll just give you a couple updates on them, and then if there's any questions, feel free to ask. But so Canis basketball project at Canis Park, we're planning on doing our first kickoff of our pre-construction meeting next week. Macarthur Inclusive Playground continues. Last night, the board did improve another addition to that phase 2 of that project. So that was really important to me to finish out that project. Western Hills continues. The playground's under construction right now, and we're looking at purchasing a pavilion and restroom to continue that project. Right now, staff, our construction crew is working on Resmond Golf Course Pro Shop. There were some failures down there in the outdoor deck area and wanted to make some improvements. So we're down there focused on that, as well as a tree house. We've recently completed a new tree house in Riverfront Park. We'll be doing a small opening of that as soon as we can finish the landscaping and some signage improvements for that. Also working currently now at the Dunbar Community Garden on a new sculpture entrance there. Really exciting project. They'll be starting later this fall, but been working with the garden there, and then also working at West Central on an outdoor recreation facility there, and we'll be moving out there. Our construction staff will be moving out there after our Resmond Golf Course project to start building a pavilion and getting actually a cargo container delivered out there this week to start some improvements out there. So those are just some highlights of some up and coming and ongoing projects that we're working on. If there's any questions, and if not, then I'll move to JP. Yes.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say how cool the tree house is.
That's cool. Yeah. So
Incredible view. Yeah, it's
yeah, it's right on the Arkansas River and Riverfront Park. So if you haven't been down there, it's really cool. It was developed and constructed all by park staff. So thank you. Okay. JP, take it away.
We starting last night, the board approved our mowing contracts for our 30 parks, 8 community centers, and 3 large parks, which are Riverfront and Macarthur and along Alsop. So that's going to help us really start to catch up. We've already got the contractors actually coming in early, starting to get some of these areas because we've been behind between the weather, which is killing everybody. We've had 3 inches of rain in the last 10 days alone. So then after that, we've got we'll still continue to cut 15 parks with our internal crews. We have had 2 hiring events. We're hiring 7 people roughly. 4 of those are full-time. We have approximately 21 budgeted positions that are vacant at this point in time, so we're starting to make a dent in those. CDL drivers are hard to find. If you know anybody that's got a CDL and would like a job, tell them to give me a call. At this point in time, our crews are starting to catch up some. We're still behind in some areas. What we're doing is going in, like for example at Hyman, we can't get into certain parts of it because it's just so wet. But we are mowing the areas that we can, the high use areas, the drier ones. So unfortunately the disc golf area is in the wettest part and we are trying to catch up to it, but I can't put a piece of equipment out there right now without it doing more damage than good. But we're going to, as soon as it's dry enough, we'll be on top of those areas. This goes more than just that park. There's several others. So anybody has any questions, I'm open to them.
Thank you, JP. Just wanted to give one more update, which I don't know exactly where this would fall because it's kind of a special event for us, but we did have a successful Music in the Park event last Friday. It was first of our events that I've been trying to, wanted to introduce to parks and to the community. It was just a small couple people playing some music, about 30 or so different vendors that did some pop-ups. Appreciate all the staff that came out and helped. And we look forward to doing some more different events like this. And if the commission ever has any different ideas, we're looking at maybe a small bago tournament or small game tournament. And there's also another event in October down in Alsop that we're already planning, a little small pop-up music event. So anyway, just wanted to highlight that and appreciate all the staff that worked on that.
Leland, what was the attendance approximately?
We didn't have any way to really count numbers. It was open to the public. I would say probably roughly 300 people. It was really kind of a perfect attendance. It started at 4, kind of really picked up around probably 5, and then around 7 or so, it started to really kind of fall off, which was kind of ideal. I mean, that's really what we were looking for. Wasn't anything supposed to be anything big or anything like that. And there was some money that was raised because of the vendors. That was the point of it also. So the point is not only raising money for that one was raising money for our volunteer programs, but also just to get awareness out for Little Rock Parks and get people out and have fun in parks. And so I think we were successful and look forward to doing more. So.
All right, very good. Thank you, Director Couch. Any other further questions or comments before we move on? And for our commissioners who are online, please do leverage the chat feature. If you do have any questions, we'll try to keep an eye on that to make sure we get your questions as they may come in. Okay, all right, very good. Then let's move on to the next item on the agenda, old business. And I would like to note, and perhaps this is, Counselor, a breach of protocol, but there were 2 other items that we would like to cover on there, the committee reports and also a quick update on the golf report. So unless anybody has any objection to that, or if that's okay to do that.
You can add that, just next time, be sure, and
Yeah.
if you want to amend the agenda, send out an amended agenda before.
Yep, agreed, yep. Completely agree. Does anybody have a problem with that? These couple of other items, we should have had them on the agenda before, but just to make sure. Okay. Well, first and foremost, I would like to say that last month we were pleased to welcome 2 new commissioners, Commissioners Fletcher and Jennings, and we also have with us here this month Commissioner Dustin Smith, who is new. So Dustin, I hate to kind of spring this on you. I don't know if you knew this was coming or not, but maybe you could unmute and give us a few words about yourself, who you are, where you came from, why you like parks, something along those lines.
Sure, happy to be here. Nice to meet all of you virtually, hopefully in person soon. Dustin Smith, I've lived in Little Rock since 2014. I live in Stiff Station, and I love our city's parks, so that's why I got involved on the Parks and Rec Commission. I am a senior sustainability consultant during my daytime at Burl Apple. It's a large engineering firm, and I work at home, so I didn't have to travel far for this meeting. My favorite parks are Alsop and War Memorial. I'm a runner, and so those offer a great variety of whether you want hills or you want something relatively flat, great running opportunities in those places. So happy to be here, and let me know if you have more questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for your introductory words there. Yes, we'll look forward to seeing you in person very soon. Very good. Thank you for that. And let's move on to quickly committee reports, and then we'll have a quick word about the golf tournament report. So I know that Commissioner Smith, you've got some words that you'd like to share with us with regards to the Master Plan Committee. So the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. The Master Plan Committee did meet yesterday. Everyone on the committee was in attendance, so we had 4 commissioners, and we met with staff, very worthwhile. The first thing we did was get a copy of the master plan, which some of us had never seen, so that was really good. This was adopted in 2020. And then we also looked at the strategic plan. The master plan is designed to be like a 10-year document, and the strategic plan a 5-year document. We reviewed those. We talked about ways to share information from those better online, as far as having them linked where the public could actually see those. And we talked about ways for each of the commissioners to be more involved, maybe by taking special interest in parks that they use or live nearby, or have an interest in improving. And so we will be meeting again. We did not set a next meeting date, but we anticipate maybe quarterly meetings of that committee. It was very worthwhile. I think we all got a lot out of it, and I'm glad to see the committee structure moving forward. Attached to your agenda, I did ask Angela to take 2 pages out of the master plan, and they are attached to the agenda. The first is how the staff classifies parks, which I think is a great way for us to consider that different parks have different needs and uses, and then more of a description about those. So attached to your agenda, you should have those. And if you didn't get them distributed with the agenda, we'll make sure you get a copy of those 2 handouts. Any questions for the Master Plan Committee? Thank you.
Commissioner Smith, thank you so much for that. Thank you for your leadership in getting that committee together and the report that you provided today. Thank you so much for that. Very good. Let's quickly turn over to the social media committee. So Commissioner Martinez, anything to share today?
Well, just that we have our first meeting planned for Wednesday, June 15th. And we will be meeting with staff, just kind of similar to what Commissioner Smith said, wanting to understand currently how outreach and social media works, what opportunities there are for, us to assist in those efforts, whether it's actively posting, helping with the social media plan, et cetera. So just looking forward to learning from staff next week and reporting back.
Fantastic. Thank you, Commissioner Martinez, for that. Any questions for Commissioner Martinez on social media? All right, very good. Then the last subcommittee is the Parks Conservancy Liaison, and I know Commissioner Brasink is not here today. A quick word on that. The City Parks Conservancy is up and going. I'll speak to a fundraising effort here in just a little bit that I'd like to share with the Parks Commission. But I'll get with Commissioner Brasink and we'll see if we can have a better update for everybody next month. All right. Last chance. Any further questions or comments for the 3 subcommittees? All right, very good. Commissioner Smith and Martinez, thank you all again for your leadership. It's nice to have these committees up and going again and getting some feedback. So really appreciate all your efforts and look forward to additional reports in the future. Just a quick word on the golf report. I know that Commissioner Eldridge, who was responsible or the lead for putting on our golf tournament, is not with us today due to a work conflict. Just a very quick word, and I'll ask Ms. Robinson to keep me honest here. I think we raised around $2,200. Is that accurate? Sorry. I'm sorry. I know. I'm so sorry. $2,200? $2,200. Okay, very good. So we have $2,200 that will go to Mrs. Robinson's recreations programs. That's where I was going with that. We need to figure out where, at some point, once you kind of have an idea of where you think that money might be well spent, of course, we'll look to hear from you to get some ideas about where that money could go. So excited to pass that along. I don't know how many teams that we had participating off the top of my head. I don't recall, but I know we had...
We had 11 teams.
11 teams? Okay, 11 teams participating, which is fantastic. A number of sponsors, which was great. We had a lot of good food out there. Thanks, Cappy, for your contribution to that. And I know we had some other sponsors who provided adult beverages, and I know that all the players really appreciated that too. So anything else that we could share about the golf tournament?
That's it. Everyone seemed to have had fun out there. The weather was really nice. It was a good day. The food was great. So thank everybody.
Okay.
And thanks for the donation.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Thank you, Ms. Nelson. I do not have that. We'll need to get that from Commissioner Eldridge. Hopefully we'll be able to get a more in-depth report from her next month. I know she was looking forward to providing some more information today, but she'll hopefully be with us next month to get that. That's a really good idea. Yep, completely agree. Completely agree. The last word, going backwards for 1 second with regard to City Parks Conservancy. We will be having a campaign that the commissioners will have access to. You'll get a QR code or a URL that each of you can, if you would, please kindly consider sharing on your social media pages, sharing among your family and friends. Any donations that go through the CPC, which is a 501c3 organization, are fully tax deductible. please consult your own tax deductible, tax advisor for your own personal tax situation. But any of those monies that we raise as a commission, it sounds like we'll be able to put into a new, and Director Couch, you might want to speak to this just a little bit. You were telling me about this a moment ago, a special account for which?
Sure. So we just established an account for the golf proceeds for a holding place that we can utilize. And I was just telling Matt Bowie here that if there was other funds that came about, there would be a possibility to put those in that account. It is a donation type setup account, not a revenue account.
Very good. So any donations that we could bring in through CPC and go into this fund right here, we would then as a commission be able to decide how we would want to divvy out those funds, if we wanted them to continue to go to recreation, or if there was some other use that we would come up with ourselves. We could certainly have some additional conversation around that. All right, very good. Then the next item on the agenda is new business, and the first one there is the bond issue. And I know that Director Peck, you had mentioned this last month, and you had wanted to share a couple of words about that. So yielding the floor to you, please.
Sure. And I believe Director Wright has one of her 2 meetings in Ward 6. Is that tonight, Doris? And so we are in the process of going to the 7 wards to hear about this, and Parks is getting a little pretty piece of it. And so I'm encouraging everybody to go and attend the meeting in your ward. I know Ward 4's meeting is tomorrow night. I believe it started last week. I don't know what the rest of the schedule is, but the bond election, the bond election is on August the 9th, and it's very important to parks, to streets, to drainage, to a lot of things that it passes. So we're hoping all of you all will show up at your ward meetings and be a cheerleader for the bond issue.
Very good. Thank you so much, Director Wright. Anything to add there?
Bring this information back, we need to be very intentional about carrying out what they say, because it's easier to get somebody to vote for something if they can see what their money's going to. Yep. And, you know, I have a little concern, not when it comes to streets, but I do have some concerns when it comes to parks, because there's been a lot of programs that people have lost. That's why I keep asking about the sports. That's the one I get the most calls about. We just got to be very intentional, and very transparent as we move along this thing. I think we can pass it. I do. I'm hoping that we can pass it, because we really do need some operation, some working capital. Yep. And I think we'll come up with the operational dollars.
Very good. Thank you, Director Wright, and thank you, Director Peck, for that. Thank you both for your leadership in that regard, and hopefully when that day comes to pass, we will see it pass as well, and additional funds for Parks and Recreation. Very good.
Historically, these do pass, and I agree with Director Wright. We have to deliver what we promise to deliver. And in reference to the streets and drainage, I think the reason this continues to pass pretty much every decade is because we do it. Then they can see it, right? And, well, I have one other thing to mention, but I'll wait. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Then following down the agenda there, introduction of social event for commission. So I think Director Couch, you're going to speak to that.
Sure. So this was just a place mark for us to have a discussion of, as you know, we have now started our committees, and we are meeting. We met this week, and next week we're meeting for for social media. So I wanted to open up the floor to also consider having a social that this group could meet outside of this meeting criteria here. Obviously, we would, Beth, advertise that we're going to meet.
Correct. Just to be on the safe side, because some commission business may possibly be discussed at a social event.
Yeah, absolutely.
Notify the city's PR person, notify them.
Yes, we would definitely notify as we're doing for these other meetings. But this could be a simple at a park pavilion or one of our community centers, but the opportunity for us to maybe meet and socialize and get to know each other a little bit more outside of this setting here was the goal of that. So I open it up for discussion, and if there's not any discussion, I will move forward with trying to find a location and time period and date that will work with the group here.
I don't have a vote, but I'm going to vote to get in the kayak and let Sam take us to the Little Maumelle.
Okay.
Show you parts of the park you've never seen before.
Doris, we can get in a tandem. I'll paddle you around, Doris. Yeah, we'll put a life vest on. We're not going to jump over.
We don't have a pool in my.
We'd like to keep you on top of the water, so we'll keep.
I don't know that I could swim very well either, but if I'm out there and I see a snake and I'm in that water, I could probably get on the bank pretty quick.
Chair, I believe that Commissioner Jennings has her hand up for a comment.
Very good. Thank you. Let's see, Commissioner Jennings.
I did not mean to have my hand up. I don't know what I clicked.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
sorry,
Very good.
but, I'm happy for any type of social event. So I liked the doing something in a park idea. That sounds nice. But I don't know how to lower my hand. So, well, maybe I got it. Okay, I think I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowie.
Yes.
Director Peck, if y'all build me a pool,
What'd you say?
if y'all build me a pool.
Oh, right on.
Plan.
Sure thing,
I'll learn
Doris.
I promise, once we get to the pool, I'll learn how to swim.
We've got the largest swimming lesson coming up pretty soon, am I right?
Right,
I was
Doris.
thinking about that, but, you know, I'm not too good with a lot of people.
Doris, if you take swimming lessons, I'll make 10 pounds of those Arkansas pecans you love if you'll take a swimming lesson. It's just a little bribe.
That's a little bribe. I might consider that.
That's a pretty good temptation right there. Very good. All right. Thank you very much for that, Director Couch. We'll look forward to some more information on that. It sounds like everybody's going to look forward to that, and I'm sure it'll be a great time. So, looking at our time here, guys, we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're in good shape here. We are going to turn next to our special presenter today, who is going to tell us a little bit about Macarthur Museum. So, Mr. Macarthur, turn it over to you, sir.
Right, is my microphone, it's working? Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity to come. I've been told I have anywhere from 3 to 15 minutes, so when you cut my mic, I'll know that I need to stop talking. My name is Stephen Macarthur, and several of you I have known for years. I've worked with Director Peck. We take some of our programming to Director Wright's Community Center at West Central, so we appreciate the privilege to work with y'all. And the rest of you, I'm looking forward to learning as you come to visit us at the museum if you've not been there. I've been at the museum since 1999, so I've been there quite a while. I've seen it evolve from a project that was just in the development and wasn't even open yet in the first 2 years to working with a great group of people, including the city and the Parks Department, to renovate a historic building, one of the oldest buildings in Little Rock, and open it in 2001 as the Macarthur Museum of Arkansas Military History. Since that time, we've seen over 600,000 visitors come into the museum, and representing all 50 states and over 50 foreign countries. I've been in the museum field for about a quarter of a century, and I will say, I think I'm joining a lot of my other museum colleagues and say the last 2 years have certainly been interesting for us, not something that any of us would have imagined as we planned for our museum careers. It has made us think outside the box, and we've learned some valuable lessons there, and some of the things that we are doing, we will continue to do as we emerge from COVID. I've had to reevaluate what I consider to be a museum visitor. In fact, I try not to even use that word. I speak about the museum experience, because one of the things that we learned during the height of COVID was that when we were shut down to the public and they couldn't visit us, we had to think outside the box and take the museum to them. And a lot of what we've been doing over the past 2 years is developing our virtual programming. And we actually now have a 3-tiered classification for a visitor, on-site, off-site, and virtual. And last year we had 37,000 people visit the museum. 2/3 of those participated virtually. And for someone like me who is an old school, and I think that you really need to come visit the museum to get the sense of place, I've had to learn a lesson that you can actually get a sense of place virtually. If it's someone halfway around the world that watches a program that you're doing on the city's YouTube channel, then that is as much a museum experience visitor as someone who walks through the door. And so we've all learned some lessons, and we're looking forward as we emerge from COVID to getting back to whatever the new normal may be, and also taking those lessons that we've learned that are positive lessons and keeping them going. And one thing that we've really learned to our benefit with our programming is a children's reading program that pre-COVID, we took it to one school, and that was it. And when we shut down because of COVID, we discovered that we could take that program virtually, and now we are reaching between 4,000 and 5,000 school kids every month in not just Little Rock, but throughout the state. And so that's one of our lessons that we're going to continue to do virtually, as well as some of the offsite programming that we are continuing to take to the after-school community center sites. So it's a transition time for a lot of museums. It's been a transition time for us because in addition to COVID, we are, if you've been to our site lately, we're in the middle of a construction zone or two. Right now we have construction on the north, south, east, and west. I've jokingly said that we're trying to make it to where you have to parachute into the museum to visit us. This will all come to an end, and we're all looking forward to that day and looking forward to things getting back to what the new normal would be. I've included in a packet for you some information about the museum, its origins, some of the programming that we do, and then I also wanted, if you would give me just a couple more minutes, to plug a few of the events that we have coming in the next couple of weeks. One is an event that is always a really fun event. It's coming up this Sunday night. We have a great partnership with the Little Rock Wind Symphony in Macarthur Park to host a Flag Day concert on Sunday night before Flag Day, which is June the 14th. This Sunday night at 7 o'clock. I would encourage you to find a place to park that's around the park, not right behind the museum, and bring your lawn chair and your picnic basket and beverages and come back and listen to a great concert of patriotic music. This is the 25th year that the symphony has done this concert, and it's really a really awe-inspiring event. At the end, they always play the service medley songs and recognize all the veterans in the audience and have them stand and recognize them. So we encourage you to come and be a part of that. I can tell you that I will be with the ice cream freezer because Bluebell gives us 1,000 servings of ice cream. So if you want some ice cream, come and see me. So that's coming up this Sunday night. We also have a flyer in your packet about a program that we've been doing now for about 5 years. It's a monthly movie series, Movies at Macarthur. Our film for June, on June the 21st, is War Torn. That whole series, we developed it to let us do two things. One, look at various military conflicts in the past, and also to look at various issues that are confronting veterans of today. And our June movie looks at the latter. It takes you through the evolution and the history of PTSD and shows us how it is not just an issue that has been developing in the post-Vietnam War era. So we would encourage you to come be a part of that. We jokingly say that it's the cheapest date night you can have because admission is free, beverages are free, and movie popcorn is free. And so if you're looking for a place to carry your special person, come and be a part of that. It's the third Tuesday of every month, January through November, and we would encourage everyone to be a part of that. And then our staff is very excited. We are transitioning from our after-school programming and getting ready to be a part of the summer playground program. We're going to 6 of the sites this year. We've been doing this for a few years. This year, we're pleased that our partner in doing this is the Clinton Presidential Library. They're going to be having some of their educators join our staff people to go to the sites. And then every week on Fridays, we'll offer one of those sites an opportunity to come visit our museum and the Clinton Library as part of their experience. So we're looking forward to doing that. And then one final plug, I also have information in your packet about an event that's not coming until March of next year. And that seems a long way off, but this is actually an event that we've been trying to plan for the past 2 years. And because of COVID and the construction, we've had to put it off. But we do a biannual fundraiser for the museum, and in March of next year, we'll be hosting a traveling exhibit from the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. And we use it as a fundraiser, and I'm very pleased to say that to date we have raised over $52,000 in sponsorships for this event, including 2 presenting sponsors at the $15,000 level, one of them being Stevens Incorporated. So we're very excited and looking forward to not only hosting this event, but closing the door on that event because we've been having to put it off so many times because of COVID. So at that, any questions, I'll be glad to answer them for you.
Mr. Bowie.
Question, yes.
Not so much a question, but just an inquiry. Will you hold up your flyer again?
Sure.
You see the "We Can Do It"?
Yes.
That's an image in one of my favorite movies, Captain America.
Yeah, okay.
So why don't y'all show that movie?
We will certainly look at it.
I mean, it's about the war. And
We have our schedule for this year, but right now we'll be planning
think
for
about
next
it.
year. We'll certainly do
I'm a
that.
big Marvel fan. I watch all the Marvel movies. I mean, the movie theater, they know if there's a Marvel, I'm coming. So
We'll
that's-
certainly look at
that's
that.
one of my favorites. So I just thought that.
As part of our fundraiser that evening at the reception, we're going to have a living history professional come and recreate Rosie the Riveter. And
Yeah.
so if you come to that event, you'll be able to meet Rosie and interact with her, and then she'll be doing a free program for the public after that at the reception.
I just thought I'd ask.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. McAteer? There is a relatively new playground there on your premises there. Is there anything you could tell us about that? Is that within your purview or?
Well, I'm looking, that is probably the construction project that is going to be finished quickest. So we're very excited. I have been working with the Macarthur group for many, many years now. And they meet every Friday morning at the museum. And we're about to see the culmination of that longstanding goal. And thanks to Leland for shepherding that through. And we're very excited about having a ribbon cutting for that, hopefully sometime in July.
That's the goal. So I was going to ask Stephen, and I appreciate that great presentation and all the great work you do. This is all Stephen, and everything he does is great, as you can see in all of his brochures here. But I'd like for you to speak briefly about the improvements to your facility that occurred some time ago, and then how you continue to get money and funds from the grants that you apply for updates to your facility, as well as you mentioned the Macarthur group. Just explain briefly who that group is and how adamant they are for the park and the museum, and then also your facility is correct me if I'm wrong, but your facility is open for public meetings. If you could elaborate a little bit on that as well.
Okay, yes to the last question. We're always looking to have events there. One of my pet peeves is people who think that a visitor is someone who comes and spends 3 hours at your facility. Well, yes, some people say that long, but a visitor is anyone who comes in the building. And one reason I like to have meetings at the facility is, number one, you get to see what a great park it is. You get to see what a great building we have. And between the time you enter the front door until you go to the meeting room upstairs, you're exposed to at least half a dozen points of interest. So you are a visitor to the museum, even when you come to a meeting there. And so, yes, we're always open, and we're looking forward to getting back to normal. So yes to that question. The renovation that we experienced in 2018, we were shut down for 6 months. We underwent a $1.6 million renovation that included reconstructing and renovating the wooden porches on the front and back of the building, ripping out of the old HVAC system that was 25 years old and not functioning well, and putting in a new state-of-the-art VAV system. and then installing LED lighting and repainting everything. $1.6 million. And as I have reminded Leland and reminded his predecessors, not one dime of that came from the citizens of Little Rock or out of the Parks Department budget, because it was all funded by the 2-cent bed tax that Director Peck was instrumental in shepherding through back in December of 2015. Another 30 some odd million of that has gone toward the renovation next door at the Art Museum. So that really addressed the structural and environmental issues of a historic structure. And any of you who live in old buildings know that they are a maintenance nightmare. And we have a really solid building with 3-foot thick walls, but we had wooden porches that were rotting, and we had an HVAC system that was woefully inadequate for a museum. And those issues have now been addressed. I tell people those issues plagued directors long before I came to this project, and now we have addressed those in a very long-term manner, and we immediately felt the improvement to the building. And again, I love to stress that cost the people of Little Rock not one dime, and so we appreciate that. What was the next part you wanted? Mac Park Group. Yeah, I had the privilege back in 2007 to work with Sharon Priest in creating this group. So I guess you can blame us for it. It's really a group of people who came together and wanted to create an awareness and change the perception of MacArthur Park and to promote the park. And over the past years, we have seen a vast improvement in the park. We're all looking forward to continue improvements in the park. There have been probably $4 million worth of improvements in the park that the group has been instrumental in securing through the acquaintances and the partnerships that we have with the other entities. We have a great relationship with the Parks Department and the city, and we're excited about what's happening next door. I know I can jokingly say that we'll be glad when the construction is done, and we will be, I assure you. It's been 3 long years. But what we're going to see in MacArthur Park with the construction next door of the Art Museum is going to bring an increased attention and increased awareness and increased use of the park. And we are going to be that red brick building next door to that white bricked, huge new art museum. And with their new north entrance, we think it's going to really impact us as people visit the art museum and then wander over and see us. And so we're very excited about what the future holds for us if we can just get through the end of the construction, which we're very excited and hopeful that will occur by the end of this year.
I have a question. So, Stephen, MacArthur Park, it is the oldest city park. Is that right?
It is. Our museum is tied to the building, which is one of the oldest buildings in Little Rock, 182 years old. The building is tied to the grounds, and the park is tied to the grounds. Our building is the only structure remaining from a military post built in 1840, shortly after Arkansas became a state. It served in that capacity until 1892, and then the federal government traded the buildings and the land, the 36 acres of the park, to the city in exchange for the land that became Fort Roots in North Little Rock. The provision of that exchange by act of Congress was that the grounds would always be used as a city park. And so in 1893, on July the 4th, that became Arsenal Park. It became City Park, and then shortly thereafter, and then in 1942, was renamed MacArthur Park, obviously in honor of Douglas MacArthur, who happened to have been born in our building and spent his first 6 months there in the Arsenal building where we're now located.
I encourage you all to go. If you haven't been in a while, you've done a remarkable job, and there are traveling and rotating exhibits. Like I said, it's a great place for a meeting, and it's just, it's a fantastic experience being there. And now you're going to have probably the coolest playground in the city.
We will.
Also.
We are looking forward to it.
3-ring circus. You're going to have AMFA and the military museum and the playground and everything else that's
if we can just get the construction fencing down. That's my goal.
All right, any other questions? All right, very good. Again, thank you, Mr. McAteer. Appreciate that presentation. Very informative about our oldest city park. Very good. All right, looking at our agenda here, moving on quickly, we've got about 10 minutes left here. So agenda items for next meeting, I would like to go ahead and put this, make sure that this is back on the calendar so that we don't run into an issue next month. So under old business or new business, I'm not really sure where it needs to live, but we can put the subcommittee reports back on for next month's agenda. And then also let's get an update from Commissioner Eldridge on the golf report as well. If we could have those two items added to the agenda for next month. Are there any other agenda items that we need to consider for next month? Yes.
I would like to ask the commission if they could give us a little assistance with possibly finding another platform to use as far as our registrations and signing up for our programs, activities, and events. So if you could, if you know of any platform that we could use, we currently use Active, and I would like to see if there is something else out there that we possibly could use for our participants and parents to register for our programs and activities.
So registration for recreation programs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that there is a procurement process that the city would have to go through.
Right.
For the software products such as that. So then just throwing that out there as well.
Okay, yes. I just, think we may need to look at some other platforms that may be a little bit more user-friendly.
So we can have that as an agenda item for next month with the understanding that it needs to go through procurement, or it needs to go through procurement?
It would need to go through procurement.
Okay,
And if
sure.
we have a current contract, that may need to be reviewed as well.
Okay.
What if there isn't a current contract, that this was just something that was implemented?
Leland, I don't know, was there a current contract? And is there a current active contract with, I guess, active?
Yeah, so right.
Do we have a contract for that kind of service?
We'll have to look that up. I don't have that information in front of us, but I think the concept of what Shawanda was bringing to the commission was we would like to discuss a point of sale, potentially new, or how we could do something better. And we wanted to reach out to this commission, or she does, and discuss, what potentially that could be. Not so much what A, B, or C is, because obviously we would have to go through procurement, but just from other people's point of views, what some potential improvements to that system could be. It's just something that we've started recently discussing, and again, we're trying to get the commission to be more involved in our operations, and we thought this would be, Shawanda thought it would be a good subject to have. And if that's okay, I have a few other things I'd like to add as well.
Go right ahead.
So also as you know, just for everybody to know, we invited Stephen because of our desire, or my desire, to continually bring new information to the commission about what Parks does. So I have been kind of choosing, and staff's been choosing in the past, so I open this time up to just say if there's anything in particular. We do so many different things. If there's any particular staff that would be interested more from a commission point of view, please let us know. Please let me know, and I'd make sure that person would be here next month. As well as I would like to introduce the concept of bringing somebody. There's a kind of a no-name, it's not officially named, Rose Creek Park. And there's been a group there that's been very adamant about doing projects there. Currently, they're working on a trail project that they have raised the money for by donations. And I'd like to give them an opportunity, if so approved, to come and give a presentation as well next month in terms of their work and their desire for their local neighborhood park.
Perfect, very good. I do believe that last month we all agreed that we would be able to have a monthly presenter, so that unless anybody objects to that particular presenter, then sounds good.
Yeah, or just if there was a particular interest
Sure.
from the commission.
Yeah, okay, very good. All right, any other agenda items very quickly?
Yes, I would like
Yes.
a permanent addition maybe to the agenda to be upcoming events that commissioners would be invited to attend. I see a very interesting list here from MacArthur Park, but I'm sure there's openings and ribbon cuttings and other events, kickoff events where we might be welcome. So if there could just be, an attached list that we could glance over, and if we had any questions, it might prompt us to put them on our calendar.
Very good.
I would like to add to that. So I think maybe the social media outreach committee could maybe be the one that helps make that list, and would be another way for them to be involved in that list. But great idea, because we have so many different events. And we now currently keep a calendar at Ramona's desk, which is our front secretary. She has a calendar of all our events, and even that, there's a few times that we find something missing. So that's a great idea. I appreciate that. And also, I wanted to say, we didn't get to say this, but when Linda gave her report, we met this week, and she requested that we started adding things such as our master plan to our website. We started that. I don't know if it's been added. Angela might be able to answer that, but it was our goal to have it online by this meeting. And so we were working with our staff at City Hall to get that up and going. So if there's anything, I'm fully want to be transparent. If there's any documents that we have or any plans that anybody's aware of that needs to be more transparent, we can add that to our website, and we're going to create a page to where we can do that. So just wanted to add that as well.
Very good. Thank you, Director Couch. Any other agenda items for next month? If not, then we'll quickly move on. We've got 3 minutes officially left, but we're down to our last item here for board liaison feedback. So Directors Peck and Wright, not limiting you guys to 3 minutes, but we want to give you an opportunity.
You do this deliberately. Give us through.
Well, I do have one that I wanted to make.
I'll follow you. You go first. I'll be
I just
quick.
wanted to make everybody aware, since now it's shaped up where I've got, the Dunbar Neighborhood Association is a 501c3, and they applied for a community program small contract, which they've been notified that they received it. And their role here, they're partnering with the Arkansas Martin Luther King Commission, and their role will be to help implement a Comic-Con for the kids, and we're partnering with CAL's Central Arkansas Library System. There will be a reading program for prizes for the most books read and the best costume, and MLK Commission is working on getting us a celebrity to come in, an act. They're talking to Anthony Mackie, who played the Falcon, of course, Marvel. It's always going to be a Marvel character for me. So we're seeing if we can get him to come in and do a meet and greet with the kids and judge the costume contest. We're working with local anime and comic book people to come and present their comic books. LaRon McAdoo is one of my constituents, and he's major in the comic book world. And he's agreed to appear. And we also have talked to Dr. Hassan Rashad. He appeared in the movie The Black Panther as one of the King's Guard. And so he's projected to be there. We're firming up everything right now. I just wanted to let the commission know this might be something real fun that you might want to come to.
What's the date?
It's going to be August 13th. It's the date that we're looking at. We've just found out that we got all the money, and the MLK Commission is putting in the additional money, and it'll be at the West Central Community Center. We're looking at trying to use the grounds as well, because if we can pull in their format for a nonviolence youth summit, then that'll bring us in over 500 kids. Plus, that will also give us an opportunity to have musical entertainment as well. And that venue out there, I don't know if you've ever been to the West Central, but it is perfect. We have all the 5 baseball fields, and everything can be spread out. And then all of the interior things that we can do will be the judging and the books and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited. I've been working on this concept for 3 years. I started it before COVID. COVID ended it for a while. And now we finally got the right partner that has the contacts to get the celebrities in. I don't know if you all are aware, but he brought Vivica Fox here, and a big time hip hop star called Master P. he was here, and these people are, I didn't know this until I popped up on my screen. They were saying, what do you think hip hop stars are worth? I said, this man worth over $50 million. He was right here in Little Rock at the State House. And he had over 2,000 kids up there. So it's MLK Commission is a good partner, and I'm looking forward to this. Really looking forward to it. It's a back to school event too.
Director Wright, would you tell the commission just briefly about your radio station at West Central?
Yeah.
And that falls right into our social media and outreach that we could utilize it.
Yeah, KWCT 98.9 low power FM station. It's licensed to the John Bear Neighborhood Association. It was installed at the West Central Community Center in 2016. We used a state grant from then. Our state representative got that money to buy the tower, and the rest of the equipment was installed as a part of the programming for West Central. So now that we got the contract re-signed, thank you, Mr. Couch, our radio station staff can expand the program opportunities that they want to provide for the kids. It's on-site media, broadcast media learning lab, really is what it is. But it is a 24-hour station. It's fully automated. We're getting all of the up-to-date equipment that can be used. We put in current PSAs, just put one up this morning for Central Arkansas Water. They've got a major new initiative going where they have money to keep people from being cut off from their water bills. So that PSA starts running today. All of this is free. If you have any information or any public information that needs to be put out there, we run all of that for free. And there's no cost for kids to come in, and we work with any school. We're open to the colleges as well, and especially the ones that don't have a station like Arkansas Baptist has an internet station, but Philander doesn't have that. So, but we're open to any station, any school that wants to bring their kids and have an on-site learning lab.
Very good.
And we publish our own magazine in case y'all hadn't seen it. Okay.
Very good. Thank you, Director Wright, for all that
Doris
information.
took up my time.
All right, Director Peck, you're
Okay, so
sliding
what
into
I'll
home
do,
plate. Here we go.
I'll be so quick. So thanks to Angie, the bond meeting in your ward, you can find the dates on the littlerock.gov website under City News. Thank you, Angie. And one final thing, more to come in probably 2 weeks, some more money for community centers and parks and a senior center. Be paying attention to the board meetings. We're looking at the second tranche of ARPA funds, and we're going to be able to get some more funding.
Very, very good.
We always appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, you got
Both of
two
y'all.
parks cheerleaders, two community center cheerleaders. So
Agreed.
And we're
Agreed.
all seniors, so seniors got good champions.
yeah, yes, we are seniors. Yes, way senior.
Everybody is, that's on the board, and you would think that that would be a major initiative, but it's something that's never been addressed.
Yeah, we're addressing it now.
All right, very good. We are just a few minutes past. Thank everybody for being here. I do want to say very quickly to all of the commissioners in attendance, if you are not currently aligned with one of our subcommittees, please do reach out to the committee chairs and get yourself involved, get yourself plugged into one or more of those subcommittees. We want everybody to be engaged on this commission. All right, time and place of the next meeting, Wednesday, July the 13th, as you can see on your agenda here at the center again, 104. Anything else, folks? Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for being here.